This video is going to show you how to make a self-assessing quiz or test using forms. So the first thing you want to do is you'll want to come to forms and you'll want to create a new form. I usually start with this blank quiz template right here. Once you're in the form, the first thing I do is make a name. And after I've made the name, I come over to the settings button. In the settings, in this first tab, these are your general settings. The first thing you're going to want to do is select collect email addresses. This is important because what it does is, since your students will be signed into their Chromebooks, this will automatically collect the email address that they're signed in under, which is going to help with test security and making sure that you're grading the right test for the right student. You'll also want to limit it to one response. If you're making something self-grading that's just a bell ringer or a do now, an exit ticket, you might not need to limit to one response, but if you're doing a quiz or a test, you'll want to limit it to one response so that the students aren't taking it more than once. Depending on whether this is more of just an in-class formative assessment or a poll versus something more formal like a quiz or a test, you can let students edit after they submit, or you can let them see the summary charts. In the presentation tab, you have three options. You can show them a progress bar. So if it's a longer unit test, this might help students with test taking anxiety or who need help pacing. You can shuffle the question order, which adds to test security. The only time I wouldn't use shuffle question order is if you have pictures or videos. It doesn't work quite as well if you add pictures or videos. There's some workarounds, but sometimes even that doesn't work well. So I recommend only shuffling question order if you're just having text questions. And at the end, if you want to, you can give the students a little message like, congratulations, you finished. That's up to you, but something little and positive for them to get when they finish the assessment. In the quizzes tabs, this should already be set for make this as a quiz if you started with the quiz form. If not, you'll just want to turn the toggle on. You can also set it, this is a new mode. I haven't actually gotten to practice using this yet because it's so new, but what it does is, because our students are on managed Chromebooks, it's a mode that lets you prevent them from opening other tabs or applications. You can do this with GoGuardian as well, but now Forms has that functionality built into the form. And to do that, you just check that box. With release the grade, if it's something informal, again, you might want to select immediately and let them have it right away. But if it's a quiz or test and you want to keep the questions secure, you can choose not to return their grades until after you've had a chance to review the results, and then you can email them. With the option at the bottom, if this is a study guide and you want them to be able to learn from it, you could always let them see which questions they missed and what the correct answers were by checking these checkboxes. If it's a more formal unit test and you don't want them to have access to those after the test for security, then you would just uncheck them. Once you've set your settings, you click Save. In the actual form itself, if you're going to be taking a grade, I always recommend the first question be their name. Yes, the form will be collecting their emails, but very rarely, we had it happen one time last year, the form will stop collecting the emails for a little bit in the middle. So last year we had a teacher who had, I think, 10 students it didn't collect the email for in the middle of the day, and she had given the test several times throughout the day. If you put this question in here, even if it doesn't collect their email, you're still going to get their name. Now, again, that happens really rarely, so you probably won't ever experience it, but just in case. Here I have three different questions: a multiple choice, a short answer, and a long answer. Multiple choice and short answer can both be self-graded by the test. And the way you do that is you click on the question and you come down to this left where it says answer key. Once you're in the answer key view of the question, you select the option that's correct and you set how many points that question is worth. You can also add answer feedback by clicking Add Answer Feedback. You can either give it for correct answers or incorrect answers. I like incorrect answers. You can tell them what the correct answer was, and you can either tell them why it's the correct answer, or you can attach a video or a link to a document that helps explain to them how they could have gotten the correct answer, which is nice for a quiz or a study guide. For short answers, it's a little bit different. You still come down to the left and click Answer Key. You still select how many points it's worth. But now what you're going to do is you would have to write what the answer is going to be. Now, it will only accept the answers you type in. So if this is not math where the answer might be 2 or 5 or 1/3 and it's very easy. If it's English, social studies, science, you might have to put in a couple different options in case they don't capitalize correctly or something like that. And then once you're done, you click Mark All Other Answers Incorrect. You could also not put any answer responses in here, and then that would just mean that you have to grade it yourself at the end of the test once everyone's done taking it. The last question I have here is a paragraph, and for that, obviously, I can't guess all the different options that would be the answer for a paragraph, so it's not even going to let me try. But I can set the number of points that the question would be worth, and once the students take the test, this form is going to grade the first 2 answers and then leave this blank so that I can grade the last one. Once you're done with that, you can send this test to your students. The easiest way to do that is going to be to get the link and then paste that into a Google Classroom assignment that you can release at the beginning of the period. And then all they have to do in Google Classroom is click the link and their test or study guide or quiz will start. Once they've turned in assignments, this is another quiz that I made, and I had a student do responses. So you can see here, it will start you out on the summary page, but you can go to the individual, and here it gives you the student's email address, so you know which student did it. It shows you their answers. See how for the name there were no points, so she's not losing or gaining any points. For the ones that she got correct, the program's already graded those. And then for the paragraph, I can come in here after I've read it, and I can give the student a grade, and then click Save. And now over here on the left, it shows that she got 11 out of 12 on the assignment because it's been graded. Once you have multiple students take the test, you can toggle through them with these arrows that don't work for me since I only have one. And once you've graded everyone, you can release the scores. You can also, after they've turned it in, you can click Not Accepting Responses. And then any students who missed the window in which you were accepting responses will no longer be able to take the assessment.